ready for this super regional. How the guys feel coming into this week? How are you feeling ready for this one? You get 2 wins away from Omaha.
Feeling dangerous, ready to go.
But the
We're excited. I mean, it's ready to go. Yeah, no, it's the best time of the year. So yeah, no, it's a lot of smiles, a lot of excitement. Looking to capture some more celebratory moments.
Eric, what do you know about Florida? What have you seen out of them so far?
Know a lot. They're obviously an outstanding program. This year's team is, maybe not unusual from the caliber of talent that they have, but maybe unusual with just their overall record. But I think what we saw in the regional is the team that they are, and everyone thought they would be at the beginning of the year. So, the regular season and their record in the regular season means absolutely nothing. And all that matters is they won the regional. They're playing well. They probably were a lot of people unsure if they were going to get in, and they got in, and that's can be a mentally freeing type of feeling. So I'm sure they feel like they've got house money, and they capitalized on that in the regional, and they're. We expect they're hot, and they're coming in here with a lot of confidence, and we know it's going to be a huge challenge for us, especially given the caliber of their players.
Speaking of Florida, did you get a chance to say hello to Coach O'Sullivan yet and catch up about the good old days?
No. I don't imagine we'll be doing that.
What do you remember about that year working alongside him, and what was such an incredible staff there that Coach Leggett assembled?
I just remember, recognizing, like you don't usually recognize when you're at the right place at the right time and very lucky. It's usually something you reflect back upon, but I just remember recognizing that in the moment. Tim Corbin was just named the National Assistant Coach of the Year, was just with the Team USA staff, which usually you don't see many assistant coaches on Team USA. And just obviously everyone knows Coach Leggett and knew the type of head coach that he was, but I think it was instantly recognizable that I was sharing an office with 2 assistant coaches who were going to go off to be outstanding Hall of Fame head coaches as well. And just being in that office with them, like maybe that's what I didn't recognize, how lucky I was to share an office with those 2 guys. But I did know that these are 2 of the best of the very best to ever do it in college baseball, plus Coach Leggett. So it's just, couldn't have asked for a better opportunity, and that's why I have such reverence for Clemson, because this is my first ever coaching job and coaching opportunity, and changed the trajectory of my life, which is why I jumped at the opportunity to come back here, because I hold this place in such high regard, almost like a player would feel about their alma mater is how I feel about this place. It just draws up those same feelings I have when I start thinking about my time at East Carolina playing for Keith LeClaire, who was part of Jack Leggett's coaching tree. So it's all connected, and it's just that staff and that year and those players and the season that we had. It's all part of those feelings.
Eric, you alluded to the confidence that Florida's going to have on the diamond this week, but describe your bunch's confidence that you guys have going into this one.
Yeah, our guys are feeling good. They're fired up. I mean, everyone's confident who's made it to this level. Everyone's coming off a regional championship, so how could you not be confident? And we feel especially confident just because our guys have been consistent. Not just this season, but from the day one of the fall, what they've done off the field as well as on the field. How they've competed in the classroom, how they've served the community, as well as the consistency. Maybe not every week. We've had a couple of slip-ups here and there, but our guys from a preparation standpoint have been hyper competitive and ultra consistent. And as a coaching staff and as a program and as Team 127, we couldn't ask for anything more, and draw a lot of confidence just from our preparation, knowing that we're ready. It's time to let it rip.
You going to go obviously with Aiden tomorrow?
No, we're going to go with Tristan tomorrow, and then Aiden game 2. So same 1-2. Yeah.
As far as Florida, just a team that hits a lot of home runs and playing in a stadium of these dimensions, like how important is it going to be just pitchers locating and not giving them balls to hit out of the yard?
Yeah, it's a good point, because it's not just Caglione with his 31, but Shelton's got 20, and you got a bunch of other guys with double digits. So it's a dangerous lineup, top to bottom, a lot of home run threats in there. So yeah, we'll definitely have to be competitive, and if they hit a home run, we'll take it. You know, they can earn that, but what we don't want is to couple that with free passes or errors or things like that. So we've been doing a pretty good job lately of not beating ourselves and being pretty stingy from a pitching and defense standpoint, and we will absolutely have to do that with a team like this and a caliber of this offense with the power threats.
We
Eric,
talked
I
so much
imagine
about
the
that.
atmosphere is going to be pretty crazy here tomorrow. They have to open up the softball stadium to kind of get the overflow traffic. This is what you came here for, I imagine, to see this kind of scene.
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, we definitely have a whole nother standard deviation of attendance possibilities here. You know, 6,000 is great, 10,000 is better. And I think this is one of those programs that has that level where we could, you know, certainly achieve 50% more capacity. And, you know, weekends like last weekend proved that. And I can't wait to see the energy in the stadium. That was the best college baseball environment in all my years of being a part of college baseball that I've ever seen. I felt like I was in a rock concert with Journey song playing and the cell phone flashlights, and that'll be burned into my brain forever. And I know we've got 2 day games, so we won't see that again, but that was just an incredibly special atmosphere. And just again, thank you to the Clemson community who made it happen, because they made it happen. You got students up in the balcony over there, like, you know, created their own additional student section. It's just, you know, a lot of authentic, cool things that are happening. And I expect this weekend will be no different. We're going to have great weather. We're going to have plenty of people out, and we've got all kinds of room, not just the softball stadium. You got the turf field. I mean, if people want to come hang out, let's make it one gigantic party like those students did in the balcony over there. Let's get a few thousand more like that and just make it like concert meets carnival meets baseball game. So I'm in. Let's go.
Is Will Taylor and Sal Mount in the outfield shagging fly balls? Is he going to be on the super regional roster? And do you have any idea of his abilities in terms of what he can and can't do?
Well, if Will Taylor could pull the Jim Abbott where he catches it with his right hand, takes glove off, and throws it with his right hand, that's what he was doing. He was catching it with the wrong hand. So pretty special athlete that he's running him down in the outfield playing wrong-handed. But no, he's still working on his range of motion. We thought he might be able to give it a go. So unless he plays defense wrong-handed, we probably won't see him out there.
Coach, you mentioned with O'Sullivan that, you know, in this day and age, a lot of coaches might communicate, you know, talk about what the matchup is. Why have you guys chosen to keep it a little bit separate?
I don't know. I think just, you know, I have no idea. I certainly can't speak for him. I just, I think it goes back to the question last week about, you know, the sentiment and, you know, our players, Coach Leggett and I have those personal connections. Our players don't. So I think it just stems from, I can speak personally, just wanting to keep it about the players and not make it about my personal connection to Coach O'Sullivan. But, you know, I haven't said anything about it to our guys and haven't really talked much about it publicly. And, I mean, I'm sure we'll say hello at home plate, so it'll be fine.
Are those ones a little bit more fun when it is a coach that you have a personal connection with, or?
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. It probably depends on the outcome.
I mean, the pregame one.
It was, I didn't see Coach Corbin last week until the regional meeting, and I won't see Sully until the pre-super regional meeting this afternoon. So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be fine. You know, known those guys a long time, 20 some odd years. So there's a lot of time in building those relationships. So it'll be good. But neither of us have chose to make it anything more than just about the players.
You talk about keeping it for the players. What is the message to them going? You've talked so much about consistency and that they know what's expected, they've known what it takes, they've been doing it. What is your message as you go into a weekend like this?
Compete hard, play hard, have fun. I mean, it's can't get much more complicated than that. So those are kind of the 3 of the things we've been talking about a lot lately. Is just time to, you know, clinch a division championship and then a regional championship and an opportunity this weekend. So you just got to put the target on competing and playing as hard as you possibly can and having as much fun as you possibly can on a baseball field with your friends.
Eric, I know you talked about Jack and your connections a long time. I mean, just going back to it, what made you think, some guys might think, well, I don't want the former coach around as much, or at least certainly not in the dugout and part of the program, because, it's now my program. What kept you unafraid to do something like that?
Well, we don't, first off, we don't talk like that, like it's my program or my players. Everything is we, our, and us. And so our program, Clemson Baseball, Coach Leggett is a quarter of a century invested into that. His fingerprints are all over this field and stadium and alums and everything. And, I've never been electrocuted except for when he comes around every day, and it's like getting a bolt of lightning. I mean, he just injects positive energy into everyone he's around. So, selfishly, for wanting the team to get better and have exposure to Coach Leggett and all the things he brings, the words of wisdom, the years and years and decades of wisdom and coaching experience. Our guys are lucky to have him, and he's a great friend. I mean, he's one of my best friends, and he's 70 years old, but that's his superpower, is he's connected to everyone, whether it's he's talking to my 9-year-old daughter or 11-year-old son or 14-year-old son, or working with a college kid, or talking to a donor his age, or a coach that's, could be his son. It's just, he's got the ability to connect with everyone. And he's like a magnet, I mean, I think about like guys on our team that are like that, like Jaron Purify, and Coach Leggett has that same it factor. You just want to be around him because he's just a positive life force.
I know last week some of your guys got to talk to Spencer and learn from him and just hear from him about what it means to play at this level and in these big moments. Anything like that this week, or if not, how valuable are those moments for guys in big time games like this?
It's huge because Strider actually shared a little bit about the mentality, Braves and Phillies in the divisional championship, and just shed some light on things that he thought maybe they could have done a little better, and things that could help us. And he just has such a unique perspective because he's like a Jedi master of the mental game. So we've had him speak to the team. He's got good relationships with the team. He's invested in our program. He's helped us get the technology for the pitching lab we put in there, and he's just such an awesome dude. But the way he thinks about baseball, and so anytime he can share some of that perspective, I know our guys just soak up every word. And so just listening to him talk about the playoffs for them last week gave us actually some pretty good just some pretty good ideas of maybe how we would approach it. Instead of trying to shrink the moment, we were going to embrace the moment, and I thought that really helped us.
Florida's pitching helped them beat Oklahoma State in the regional finals. So what challenges do they present to you guys this week?
Yeah, it's all pro prospects with power stuff. And the guy tomorrow tops out at 98. The guy after that's also upper 90s. So you got Peterson and Caglione, who are upper 90s stuff with swing and miss offerings. And then everyone in the bullpen is the mid 90s type of pitcher. I mean, they just roll out one power arm prospect after the next. So, they swung it and they pitched well, and they had to do it the hard way through the losers bracket last weekend. But they did enough at the end. They kept a good hitting Oklahoma State team to just 2 runs in both those final games, and that's really tough to do at their park with the offense that they have, because it's a very offensive park. And so what they did in those games in the regional last weekend was super impressive. But it's a testament to just kind of how they're playing and how they're feeling right now.
Eric, I know you didn't come here just to get to a super regional, but is there some sort of cathartic, emotional release about what you guys were able to accomplish last weekend and wiping that 2010 out of the lexicon around here?
I think so. I think that's what you chase. You chase celebratory moments, and if you have a chance to beat South Carolina, that's a celebratory moment. If you have a chance to win the ACC, that's worth celebrating. And then any championship after that, whether it's a tournament championship, a regional, a super regional, a national, those are the things that you want for these guys, and you got to earn it every day, starting from the first team meeting in August. You have to, it takes what it takes, and you got to be, committed to that routine and have that discipline, and our guys have. So every kind of checkpoint along the way, when we have a chance to call ourselves a champion of a segment throughout the course of the season and keep writing our story, we want to celebrate it. We want to enjoy it. And we're happy about it, but we're not satisfied, and we want to keep going.
Anything else for Coach?